So today we're going to briefly go over this game right here. This is a game called Dragon Knight, an independent early access game available on Steam on the PC. And yes, I know that the words independent and early access kind of have certain connotations to them. Now, this is an indie game and it does not have a high budget. And above all else, it is totally, completely, 100% not finished at all. It's still getting updates quite frequently. So this may not be a fair representation of the game in the future, but as of February 2017, I've experienced enough of this game to really get a feel for what it's about and how it plays. So immediately upon starting up, you'll see that this is one of those games. You know what I'm talking about. This game is about girls with huge breasts and very little clothing smacking dinosaurs and other enemies in the face. Rather than creating a character, you can pick two of these lovely ladies, each with their own unique weapon, and you can swap between them on the fly. So you know which one I started with, obviously. I mean, look at these icons. They're nearly the exact same as the series that this game has taken its inspiration from. And right off the bat, you'll see this game is kind of like Streets of Rage, except instead of beating up thugs, you're fighting monsters. Instead of playing as Skate or Max, the two obviously best characters in Streets of Rage, you're playing as a scanty succubus. The first thing I noticed is how janky the movements are. It's kind of hard to describe, but I'd say it's almost too snappy, and because of that, the animations are just very jarring. Sure, if you pause the game and look at a screenshot, it looks pretty decent, but when the game is in motion, it's just not very appealing to look at. The gameplay does have a few neat aspects though. Since you pick two characters, you can switch between them with the press of a button. This at least gives you a little bit of variety because each character has very different movesets. One thing that really annoys me though is the hitboxes. Enemies have way too small of a hitbox, so you gotta really get right up in there. You can only hit them when you're breathing down their neck. Only when you can whisper sweet nothings into their ear and then... Wow, what am I looking at? Okay. So when your character gets damaged enough, you may see some of her tiggle bitties pop right out of there, out of that little piece of cloth that's covering her chest. It's kind of weird. Yeah, that explains it. There's a nudity tag on the Steam page, and even in the trailer on the Steam page, you can see some uncensored gameplay footage. I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't know this was in the game when I bought it, and the only reason I bought it was because one of you guys sent me a message saying that I should check it out, and it was on sale for like $2. Dang it, Lord Spycrab, I feel so dirty now. As I was saying, all the hitboxes are a little bit off, so you end up taking a lot of damage just for being close to enemies, which just doesn't feel right. Many of the enemies are reskins from what I've experienced, but the bosses that you fight at the end of each level are kind of neat. I feel like they're inspired from monsters in the Monster Hunter series as well. Like this guy kind of reminds me of the Tigrex. I don't really know why, just something about him. He just kind of screams Tigrex to me. When you defeat the boss monsters, they'll have a chance of dropping powerful weapons that you can swap out. You can also upgrade your weapons at the blacksmith that just kind of appears in certain stages. But the bastards stole all of my money and I didn't even realize it for some reason. I don't really know. And quite frankly, I don't care at this point. Probably because they speak all sorts of English and there are spelling and grammatical errors abound. The developer's native language obviously is English, but if you market a game in a language, I still think that it should be translated properly instead of what we have here in Dragon Knight. So usually I die around this spot. It takes me about 15 minutes or so, but I'm not very good at brawlers, so I suppose that's to be expected. I always end up getting sent back to the town, but there's not really anything to do in town besides start the entire gameplay loop over again. You can upgrade some passive stats in this skill tree thing that appears when you die, but it's not, I don't know, it just doesn't really seem really interesting to me. It tries to make the game into like a sort of a roguelike thing, and it takes a long time to grind up enough points to even unlock these skills, so it just ends up being a chore. And because I had such a questionable experience, and yeah, that's putting it lightly, with Dragon Knight, I'm still very confused as to why the reviews on Steam are very positive right now. Right after I played the game, I left a negative review, and it seems to have angered some people because there are 7 people who immediately downloaded it. Again, this is just a cheap little early access game, but it has a few neat ideas. It just needs a lot of polish and refinement. Luckily, it's only a couple bucks right now, so it's not like it's a huge purchase, and it is updated fairly frequently. In fact, there was an update very recently, so I might as well go ahead and check that out and see if they added any new features or anything. But thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment, hit the alert bell next to the subscribe button so you can see whenever I upload things. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button too. That'd be pretty awesome. Currently, I'm playing through Monster Hunter Stories with an English translation mod applied, so I'd say check that out next, or maybe my review of Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. I'll see you later. Peace.